What's your take on height standards for men? I feel like on one hand that it ain't near as important as people on here make it out to be. But there is definitely a problem of unrealistic expectations among women. Everybody wants the 6 feet 4 inches plus stud with a 9+ inch dick. But that's such a small segment of the population that most of us have likely never so much as laid eyes on such a man. It doesn't help that people lie about both of those figures all the time, and most women generally aren't the best with intuitive measurement. Lol. That guy that told you he had 8 inches was a solid 6 at best. But now you think you like monster cock. It's dumb. Obviously, but also not an issue. Firstly, get the heck out of apps and meet people in person. As a relatively vertically challenged person myself, I never had an issue with being treated right or even approached. Only time I did was when I'd put on a few pounds, which is the bigger issue itself. And if by chance you meet someone who does, for some reason that may not make sense, have a requirement, differentiating from preference and quad, chances are good, that person isn't worth your time anyway. So again, not an issue. Really. In terms of dating, 6 foot plus seems to be the number that gets thrown around. This eliminates 90% of men from your dating pool immediately. It's stupidity. Next, remove all the married/in relationship men from that same 6 foot plus pool. Doesn't even count the in shape/money requirements or if they in your age range. What many seem to want is a top 0.1% man and they don't even realize it. Doesn't apply to all women. But it's way more common than they will admit. You're allowed your preferences, ladies. But enjoy the cats and being nothing other than a booty call to these men if you're lucky. What is something you can't believe people like? Fast food. I honestly believe most people are just addicted to the stuff. Like, no, it's not a case of, well, it's decent enough. And what do you expect for $? And quat. No. You're just addicted to the stuff. Arranged marriage. I'm from India and this shit is disgusting. I mean, how can you live with a partner you don't even know just because parents chose her/him? It makes me irritated. People who are enamored by currently incarcerated murderers. The fact that people write fan letters or letters of love to people who have murdered their spouse and loved ones is insane to me. The Andrew Tates and Elon Musks and Trumps of the world. Why do people rally around complete assholes who would spit on them in the street if given the chance? Must be some sort of kink they're too repressed to explore elsewhere. Brussels sprouts. I don't care if you saute them in the best butter and bacon or kimchi or whatever, they still taste like bitter turd underneath it. They smell like S2. Aggressive neurotic dogs. I have a couple of friends that have them. They belong to these larger, deeper groups of people. They'll post on Facebook about being bitten because an ambulance drove by or their neighbor was out leaf blowing. Dogs they can't leave home alone for risk of injury or destruction. They don't like folks in hats. Can't be pet sat or go to the vet without being sedated. I love my dogs but could never accept having a vicious neurotic one who bit me and destroyed my home. Following and constantly watching the life of influencers. I'm not talking about people that produce content. I'm talking about these Instagram lifestyle influencers that are posting what they eat, where they travel, what products they received for free, etc. I don't get why someone could be interested in that. I couldn't care less about what a person I don't know is doing during the day. Is it okay that I like Pocahontas, Disney, 1995, despite its controversies? Like what you like and ignore the rabble. Amanut Matawaka is a victim of kidnap, rape and murder. Forced to marry John Rolfe, a tobacco farmer, after her husband was murdered and the rest of her family's lives threatened. She was taken to England where she died at age 20. Buried under her forced Christian name Rebecca Rolfe at St. George's Church in Gravesend, UK. Disney is a whitewash lie. If you love/respect our culture, learn our real history. What happened back then is still happening today. If you like to learn more about Native Americans, you will love the book 1491 by Charles Mann. Even as an audiobook, it is fascinating. Natives were not helpless, nor naive, nor ignorant. Their main struggle was with the diseases brought over by the new immigrants and their shipborne vermin. Some say up to 90% of the native population died from diseases for which they had no immunity or remedy. Pocahontas herself fell victim to disease as a young married mother while visiting England with her English husband. It's fine. It's a good movie. People who feel bad want other people to feel bad for liking things. For a bit of history, Ratcliffe was the one who was excited to trade with the natives. So much so that the rest of the crew feared he would trade away all of their valuables. It was the natives who slaughtered the reasonably peaceful colonists. During a trade of copper for corn, they were presented with mostly empty baskets of corn. Then ambushed and killed. Ratcliffe was then killed by being skinned alive with shells, with the flesh tossed into the fire while he watched. They skinned his face last before setting fire to his flayed body. Still alive. Do healthy people just wake up in the morning and aren't tired at all? Usually. Yes. I'm healthy and get 8+ hours of sleep. Still feel tired every time I wake up. You're not alone. Any snoring? Yes, as long as you acknowledge that caffeine addiction isn't healthy. Then yes, healthy people just wake up fine. Many people don't recognize caffeine addiction, which will make you wake up tired, since fatigue is a withdrawal symptom of caffeine. I don't remember ever waking up feeling well rested and actually awake at any point in my life. Every single morning I wake up exhausted and feel like I haven't slept at all. It takes me forever to get out of bed and I'm never not miserable for the first few hours of every day. At this point I've had to accept that this is just what my life is like. I am horrendously depressed, MDD amongst other things, and I spend most of my days lying in bed. But when I actually have somewhere to be early on, I'm not that bad at getting up. I had the most terrifying episode of sleep paralysis last night. I thought I was having a seizure, but it's probably not that. Couldn't move at all with a massive black thing on my chest. Yes, a lot of people optimize their lifestyles to be able to function as soon as they wake up. It's not your fault. You just haven't found the right optimal plan throughout the day that helps support a healthy sleeping schedule. It's a bad cycle. Bad schedule equals bad sleep equals bad schedule equals etc. Now I'm different from most people. In the fact that I am suspected to have mild hypersomnia, not diagnosed though. For me, if I sleep for 8 hours, I don't feel well rested. If I sleep for 12 however, I feel great. I don't feel tired until it's the end of the day and I want to get to bed again.